I'm Luann. I'm
sorry,
Luann.
Luann.
No, it's fine.
I apologize.
No, it's fine. Jen is the in service.
Okay. All right. So Luann, so what we need
Yep.
to learn is Candy and myself will be entering all the discrepancies,
Okay.
the differences. So we're doing a year-end inventory on Friday. And
Okay.
so Nate is going to be creating all of the reports for us. And then Candy and I are going to be going in and basically fixing or telling the system what we want, what number we want to go with. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
All right. So go ahead and launch Retail Pro. Okay. And
Okay.
so you're going to be actually using the Retail Pro PI, right? Do it with a freeze snapshot and counting everything and comparing it to the snapshot, right?
Yes, that's what I believe
Okay.
we're doing. We're freezing, yeah. So I'm going to go to Retail Pro Launcher right now or report?
Yes. Yes. So typically, right, you freeze Retail Pro, you count everything that you're going to count, you load those counts into Retail Pro, and you get a list of here's the things that are different, right? And that's where you want to come in, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's where Candy and I will be coming in, yes.
Okay. So we need to make sure, and have you done a physical yet in 9?
Never. This is our first one.
Okay. All right. So we just need to make sure we've got all of our screens the way we want them and the reports and so forth. I'm going to look. So your physical inventory tab, right, is right here on your inventory screen. See this over on the side, physical inventory?
No. Hold on. Let me.
All the way over on the side. Can you see it? Is it hidden by something?
Do you have the mouse somewhere there? Okay, I see physical inventory, yes, okay.
Right, okay. So everything that you're going to do, right, as regards to dealing with discrepancies or whatever, is going to be in this tab, physical inventory, right? And so stores, right, is where you should see the physical inventory, right? I'm just going to create a snapshot. We can throw it away when we're done playing with it. Right, but I want this to look like it's going to look when you when it's handed to you.
Okay.
All right. So the general process is this is the freeze or the snapshot, which you do when you're ready to count everything, right? And it creates the freeze file. So let's see. I'm just going to call it training, so nobody would mistake it for anything real, right? And which location? Right, are we doing this for on Friday?
Well, we're doing them for all, but for training, let's just do it for Lodge for the hell of it.
Okay. All right. Okay, now this would be this filter you would use if you are just counting part of your inventory, like just a vendor, just a DCS or something, and you're not doing that, right? You're counting everything. All right.
Yeah.
So we're going to make sure that filter's clear. And click OK. And like I said, this is something that...
Okay, you got to go slow, please,
right.
Luann, because we're writing things down.
Okay,
so
well,
can you go back, please, one?
Sure.
Or what do we...
Okay, so this, and who is actually doing all of these steps before the discrepancies are handed to you?
Nate,
it will be IT Nate Soto.
Okay. Okay. All right, so let me back up. Okay. So what will happen on the day of the inventory is they will go into inventory. Okay, they will go to physical inventory on the side, and they'll go to stores. Okay. And if there is not a physical already sitting here, it's going to prompt you with this to ask, okay, I don't see a physical here. What do you want to do? Okay, so I told it I wanted to create a training physical.
Okay. But when we go in, we're going to see something there because he would have froze it, right?
Correct. That's absolutely correct. Okay.
Okay.
So when I pick this, right, and pick a store, and then I don't use the filter, right, because I want to count everything, so I don't want to filter to anything specific, right, and click OK, right, then this is what's creating the snapshot.
Okay.
Okay, so this is all done, right, by IT, right, day of, right, and then they're going to go count and you know, do all that, right, and then when you come in, when it's handed to you, you go to physical inventory and you go to stores, there's going to be something already here, and there's going to be one per store.
Right, got it.
Okay, so, right, okay, now, so this is the snapshot, right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create, you know, a couple of zones and post some information, some counts into it, right? Because that's what the, you know, so we can see discrepancies.
Okay.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is the reason I'm going into physical inventory here is to get a couple of ALUs, right, that have quantities, right? So this is your frozen inventory, right? With and anything that's got a quantity in it, right, is something that is on hand, right? So I'm just going to sort by this so I can find something. Okay.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about these minuses too, right? So let's just do like reverse this so I have quantity at the top. Okay, so I have these, let's just pick this one, right? So I've got SKU 50010, system thinks I have 381, right? I've got 50603, right? System thinks I have 341. So we're just going to focus on a couple of things here so that you can see what happens, right, in the discrepancy. Okay? All right, so I'm going to go into a zone, right? I'm going to create a count for those two items, right? And this probably isn't the way that they're going to do it, okay? Because they're using scanners and all that, right?
Right.
Okay, but the general process is they create a new zone, right? So I'm in the zones tab, right? I create a new zone and it asks what store I'm counting, right, and what the name of the zone is. Okay, I'm just going to call it training. Okay, and then I'm just going to go directly in here and manually enter counts. Right, so there's my zone, right, and I go to scanned to add counts to this because this is a skill that you may need if you're correcting discrepancies. So we'll go over this, right, in the you know, environment of correcting a discrepancy. Okay, so add counts, right, and then it defaults to manual. Okay, so I'm going to change this radio button to quantity for current item because when I type in an SKU, right, I want it to stop and let me enter the quantity. That's what that radio button means, right? Okay, so 050010, right, press enter. And so I'm going to say that I have 381 of these, right, and then press enter. Okay, so that puts it down here, right, and then I'm going to go enter my second one, 500, 50030, I think, 5005030. Okay, and then 300. Okay, so I've entered a couple of items, right, in my manual zone entry. When I close, I'll be able to see them back here. Okay, and so now, in order to see the discrepancies, you know, this here, you're not going to be able to see the discrepancy here because we haven't merged the zone. Okay, you remember from doing this in the past, right? You count everything and then you merge all the zones. So they're all added together.
We don't do that. Our IT department does that.
Okay.
The only thing we're doing is,
Okay. All right. So I'm going to merge this zone, right, so that I'm able to go look at what I've counted against the snapshot. All right. So merge the zone. All right. So now if I go back to the stores, right, where I can see the store version, I've got two items that I've scanned, right? Let's add this total scan All right, so that's a total unit count of what I've scanned. Okay, so when they hand it to you, they will have merged all these zones, right? And you go to this discrepancy tab right here, the one with the big question on it.
Okay.
All right, now what you're seeing here is only the stuff that's different. Now, right now, everything's different that you own, right? Because, you know, yeah, right. Except for SKU 50010, I put in the exact amount, so it should not be on here. Okay, I'm just going to check and make sure, right? So clear. Let's add ALU to this. Okay. Okay, so 050010. Okay, okay. Yeah, it's not on my discrepancy, right? So I just want to point that out. When you go into discrepancy, all you're seeing is things that are different, right? So if the system thought you had minus 47, right, and you didn't count any, it's going to add 47 unless you do something, right? Right. Okay. All right. So the point here, right, is you need to look at these and try to figure out why they didn't count 16 of these and 10 of these and 5 of these and 15 of these, right?
Right.
Okay. So let's see what you got up here. So when you look at this, right, I can have the report be by department or by vendor. Which do you think makes more sense for you?
By zone.
And also just say
by zone, I think.
Okay, that is not really a possibility, right? To see discrepancy by zone. Okay, the reason,
I guess.
Yeah, the reason being is like some of these you didn't. Go ahead. Well, let's look at them. Okay, so we'll look at the department one and we'll see. We'll look at the options, right? And then you can see which you think makes more sense, right? So we'll do the department one, okay? And then preview. Okay, so what this is telling you, right, is by department, what the system thought you should have. That's in the start column, right? How many you counted, right, and what the differences are. So organized by department, right? And then here's your totals up at the top, right? So you can see where you stand, right? All right. So if you, and there, you know, you can see here, there should be the minuses should be on here. I just wanted to make sure that the minuses are showing up on here. So I got to find something with a start. Yeah, minuses are showing up, right? So I just want to make sure that you have everything on here that you need to look at.
Yeah, I think, yeah, the biggest thing is the start scan and the difference in quantity. I don't, what's this, on hand shows.
So that's your current on hand, okay, which, you know, may or may not be useful because you're going to count, right? They're going to hand you the discrepancies, right? And then you're going to work on them. Meanwhile, you're going to be open for business, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm coming right back. I feel a lot of computers down.
Okay.
Yeah, I just lost internet.
Oh. Yeah.
Hold on a second, because I had to get the keys out. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but. Okay, I apologize. I'm trying to kind of look at this. We had, last year we had like a start and a scan and then a difference in quantity, the unit cost.
Right. Yeah.
And then we had the difference in cost, the start cost and the scan cost.
Okay.
Is what we had last year on our discrepancy report.
We could change this.
So I want to still do it by department.
Okay. So if there are, if we need to change the fields on that, we can do that as soon as I get my internet back, looks like we are kind of frozen. Let's see. Okay. All right. So did you switch off your desktop? There we go.
Right.
There we go.
I didn't touch
Okay.
my desktop.
All right. So it's back. Okay. You can see, right, Candy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So this report, right, you want to modify this so that you have unit cost you got, right? But you had start cost and
yeah, I don't need the on hand because the on hand is where we started.
It's what? No, the on hand is what's currently on hand. Okay, and in this environment,
Yeah, I don't want anybody to. Should we have that?
Well, yeah, because it means on hand is, let's say when he did the freeze in the system, we had 17, but a customer went in and they sold something.
Bought one, right?
Yeah. That's
Okay.
And then so it's gonna on hand you have 16, but when you started, so they're gonna, if there's a sale, they're gonna take it off automatically. But how many did they scan? You know what I mean? So
how many did they scan? So in the
that's what but I thought the system is frozen. So if it's frozen, is it still kind of keeping track of what's been sold, and that's what the on hand is?
Yes.
Okay, that's cool then. That's neat. I want to keep that. Yes.
Okay. All right.
I don't know that we need the scan cost. I don't know. What do you think, Candy?
So the thing here is, the difference in cost is, am I chasing $16 or $1,600? Right. I think that's, kind of an important thing to visually see.
Per item?
Well, it's the extension, right? How big a problem is it, right? So I got, let me run that again here.
The cost we don't need. The extended cost is what we want to see.
That is I don't know.
Why would you want the cost on there?
Because the cost revolves around everything. I don't know.
So yeah, so the thing is, when I look at these, right, I go to the department line and I see where I got $1,700 worth of difference here, right? I'm gonna look at that, right? If I have $17.62, I might not pay as much attention to that, right, as the one that's got $1,700.
I like that. Yes, I do like that. Yes.
So it's just a question of where.
The big ones is what we really need to go and look at. Yeah.
Right. Right. So I have one item here, right, for $400, right? I want to what happened to that, right? So those are, I spend more time looking for this one than I do, something where I've got $17 and 100 different, like postcards. I'm not going to go look at postcards, right? I'm going to say it is what it is, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Okay. So this report.
This is excellent. I like this.
Is what you're talking about now. You can print this, right, or you can export this to Excel.
Now, will this export like the Crystal reports in Report? Because those are not fun.
Export to Excel, right?
Yeah.
Like
the way,
text.
well,
so
yeah.
You have Excel on here, so we can just do it, right?
Yeah.
So that's what it looks like. This is actually a doc design and not a report, right? So it actually exports pretty well.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
That's good.
Okay, so you can export it and divide and conquer, right? Or, make notes, right, on this, right? So if you figure out, right, like these bag recycles, do you actually track these recycled bags in inventory?
Yes.
Okay, so they will actually be counting them, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So you had 209, right? And so they forgot to count them. So you say, go count them again, right? And they say you have 200, not 209, right? So in here, right, you could make a, recount, right? So you could have a working document here, right? And then once you get everything you need, then you need to go make it happen in Retail Pro, right? And
Yeah.
is that your job, or you hand it back to IT?
No, we will be doing the entering and the differences.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll ask Nate to export those too, because it might be easier for them. And I don't know, it might, what we usually do is just send out the actual document, and then they have to circle what they want to go with.
What do you mean what they want to go with?
Well, the stores, whether, because
If they're going to go with the start quantity, or if they're going with the scan quantity.
Oh, I see. So you ask them to review every discrepancy and tell us. Okay. All right. So, you know, you would get this back, right, with something circled?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So that's a lot easier to do on a printed document than it is, you know, in something like this, but they can, you know, you can take your pick.
Yeah, normally we just do the breakdown of the other way it was before you exported it, and then we get a version of it. But I don't remember them being separated by department.
Okay.
I don't know. That was a year ago.
And you know, there is a version of this that's just in item list order, right?
Okay.
So usually, you know, I steer people away who have to look at this away from that, because it's, you know, if you're going to analyze it, it's like, what's my worst department? Let's go focus on that.
No, yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay. So they're going to print this at the store, right? You just need to tell them which one to print, right? And then they're going to give it to you with the circles on it, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if, let's take this, you know, let's go just to the first page here. So we take this bag thing. So if they scanned 200 bags, right, and they go recount that, and they go, that's what I want to go with, then they circle the scan, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you don't do anything, right? If this bandana thing, right, if they had forgotten to scan these, right, and they want to go with the start quantity, then they circle the start quantity, and then you need to add 13 bandanas to the to the inventory, right?
So where is that page? The one that we will actually be editing.
Add. Okay. So this, let's export this to PDF so we can bump it up and down here. Okay.
Oh, that looks pretty.
Save it. No. Okay. So we have where to go. This, right? So we've got let's do I guess, yeah, do you know how we should answer this question? Letting this have access to the net across the network?
Red X. When in doubt, exit out.
Say no.
Right.
Say no. Okay, fine. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into, I'm going to put an account for the bags, okay? And I'm going to put an account for this bandana, 014100, and then I'm going to put a count in for this, right? Just so it's like it was going to look when you get it, 65. Okay. All right. So if you're going to add counts to this, right, you have to go to the zones, so PI zones, right? And then
we never did go to zones. I thought we just go to discrepancy.
And you just added it in there in 8?
Yeah, well, I thought you said that we didn't have to put anything in zones because it's so hard. You said to go to that's what I have, discrepancies, and then from there you edit.
That's where we're gonna. Yeah, that's what you told us before.
So in version 9, right? If I had to find this ALU, right? So let's say I have to find this ALU. So 006026, right? Okay, so we did not count any of these, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, and so what you're asking is, can I go here, right?
Yes.
Okay, and do this, right? I can't
That's
do it
not
unless
how we
it
did
already.
last year.
I
Oh,
know,
no.
but this is 9, right? And 9 is different.
So we can't go and just choose one or the other. We're going to have to do this all by hand for every single one that's off.
Yes.
That's crazy.
So only if they want to accept the start quantity. If they're accepting the scan quantity, you don't do anything.
Yeah, well, you'd be.
Oh, I know, but all I'm going to see is just the discrepancies. So if we see all the discrepancies, where do we go? Where do we tell it what number to go with? We do that under discrepancies, or we have to go to zone?
If they're going with start quantity, you don't do, or
No,
they're going with scan quantity, you don't do anything.
No,
I know that.
That's
Okay,
not what we want. Just like you pulled it right now and you exported it in V8, is there a way like in V8 for V9 that we can just go and exactly what we have in the report is listed on the screen, and for us to either say yes or no to each individual PLU? And if it's no, if we're going to go with the start quantity or even a different quantity, we go to a different screen, but something that we can say yes, check off each one that they're going to go with the scan.
No, I mean, I don't know how you were doing that in 8.
Okay,
Okay,
let
so-
me get my information because you are totally.
Okay, so this is what I've gotten so far. So we have this, and if we want to put in 200 for the bags, we have to go where to?
So if it was not initially counted, okay, then you have to go to a zone, right, and add it to a zone.
But what if it was counted and they counted 198?
We're not doing it in zones because
Yeah,
remember.
that's what I'm understanding, because the lady had said that we weren't going to do it in zones, we were going to do it by store.
Yeah.
So
Who said that?
You just said it.
You did.
Okay, so you're not going to look at the discrepancies in zones. You can't look at the discrepancies in zones. You can only look at the discrepancies after we've merged all the zones together, so that if you have bags in one section and bags in another section, right, we know how many bags you have total compared to what the store thinks you have.
Yeah. So then why do we have to go to the zones if the zones don't matter if they combined the totals together?
Okay, so let's look at it this way, right? So if I have that one count, right? So if I look at one thing where we actually counted something.
So this is what I have that we did last year. Is here was to enter discrepancies. We went to tools, then we went to more.
Yep.
Then we went to Retail Pro P1.
PI. Yep. PI.
PI.
Yep.
And then we stay on physical, and then open which store we want.
Okay.
And then we went to discrepancy to make changes. So the store start is the actual inventory on hand in Retail Pro.
Right.
The store physical was the Regis count. So all changes make in the store physical.
Okay.
Once finished, we're updating it. We can't do it like that anymore.
Okay. So if you've already counted it, so this one has a scan quantity, right? And it's obviously wrong, correct?
Okay.
So if you got your discrepancy, right, it would say this is wrong, right? Go with the start quantity. Start quantity would be circled, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if you go in here, right, and you say, oh, this really should have been 38, right, you can change that, okay, but you have to tell me what zone it was counted in.
Well, what if we don't know what zone? Because all those
It will show you, right, all the zones, and you can
whether
pick
it
one.
be in zone 25 or zone 47.
It will allow you to choose.
From its zone 25 to zone 47? Or are you talking about zone being the store?
No, I'm talking about zones, subsections within the store.
Yeah.
But we're not setting up any subset.
You do
Oh my
realize that some of
Okay,
the
so you don't
over
think you
300
don't
zones.
think you used zones before?
No,
Is that correct?
You realize that some stores have over 300 zones.
Okay, and you don't need to control them by zone
No.
when they're doing the count.
When they're doing the count, all we do with zones is that the Regis, the company, scans their little ticket, and then for us to do recounts for our auditors or whatever, 20%, they give us the papers for the specific areas that we want them to print it out. We give it to one of our employees and say, hey, go verify this. If it's correct, they sign it off and give it to me. And then I give them all to Nancy, and Nancy gives them to whoever does our audits or whatever they do. And we no longer see those papers, those zone papers.
But in the store, Regis is going to count in zones. When they give your IT the file, it's going to say, you know, zone XYZ, right? Had 3 of these and 5 of these and 6 of these. When we import that into Retail Pro, right, we're going to have zones.
So then if we have, let's say that in zone 1, we had eco bags, and then in zone 301, there's eco bags. They're going to have to go to the, how do they, will it show all the zones it was counted in and then a total?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So then we have to go to each individual zone and figure out where the miscount was.
Or, you know, put them in a, you know, when we do this with people, right, we tell them, put whatever miscounts, corrections, whatever, right, put them all in a zone by themselves. Okay, and it's not what you're, you know, it's not what you're used to, what you've done before, but it gives you an audit trail.
Oh.
Okay, so that, you know, this is possible to do it this way if it was already counted, but I can't change this one. Well, that's a bad idea. Bad. Whatever. There we go. So that's an actual item, right? So I can't tell the system, hey, you counted 10 of these when I didn't already have a zone where it was counted.
Okay, so then there's got to be an exact, they're going to have to tell us what zone the discrepancy is in. But when you showed the discrepancy report, it didn't show what zone. But when he uploads that from Regis, it's going to show, it'll show like eco bags, zone 1, zone 3, zone 8.
Okay, so here, right, so let's, you know, I'm going back into the discrepancy here, right? So where's my counts? Oh, now I don't have any discrepancies. Okay, so go back into PI inventory. You need to make a discrepancy. Okay, so those two are right. All right, so let me put this one back the way it was here. So let's say 40. Okay, so here in my discrepancies, right, I know that I started with this, right, and they scanned 40, okay, and on your discrepancy sheet from the store, they've circled the 38. They want to go with the 38, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So if they want to go with the 38, you need to edit the scan quantity, okay? And the minute you drop in to edit the scan quantity, that it's going to show you a list of the zones that was counted in. So you can choose which one you want to adjust it out of.
Okay,
And then
that's
we
pretty
can
cool.
just like on whichever one, we can just add the 2 or subtract
You-
subtract
Right,
the
so
2.
you add what you want to end up with, right? So they
So
said they
then can
counted
I ask
40,
you a
but you wanted to
question?
say 38. Yes,
So when Nate is going to get us the information on discrepancies, is there a
Yeah.
report he can run to show, okay, so we have this discrepancies, what is it right here, that you're doing a discrepancy in, it's
that one? Yeah.
decals, right? So
Yep.
is he gonna have, does Retail Pro now produce a report that shows, okay, there's a discrepancy, and we scanned 40, and here's all the zones it was, where it was at?
There is not a report that can only show the discrepancies. There's a report that can show what zones I counted this item in,
Oh,
but
okay,
it won't.
so then,
Because
and he'll be able to produce that? Where
Yeah,
is
let's,
that report? If
let's
we
just-
needed
let's
to
just-
run
let's-
that report, where is
yeah,
it?
let's make sure we got it here. Right, so it's actually in the reports module. All right, go ahead and log in there.
Oh, hold on, sorry.
That's okay. Okay, let me see if you got it here. So in the custom directory, you should have one that says this one right here, BHD PI zone report.
So hold on a second, please.
Yep.
It's in custom report.
Yes, yes.
And it's called, can you widen that so I can see?
Yep.
It's called
Yep.
BHD.
HD PI zone report. Yeah. Come on, there we go.
Okay.
All right, so all of the locations have the BHD custom reports installed?
Uh-huh.
Okay,
I don't
that's a
know.
question. Okay. That would be a thing to check. Okay, because if you're asking that they produce
So,
this, you know,
check
then we need to
all
make sure they have it.
stores to ensure they have it.
Okay, but why would the stores need to check this? Oh, wait, never mind. I got it.
I'm really upset that Nate's not on this call because this is stuff that he needs to be aware of.
No, yeah, yeah.
And so,
Okay, so let
are
me
you
let
going
me
to be
run.
on
Let
the
me
call
run.
with him, Luann?
When?
Are you going to be on the call with him on the next call? He says he's not on this
Thursday.
call, but he's going to be on the next call.
Okay,
Are you
Thursday.
on that one?
If it's Thursday, yes.
So I'm going to
Is
tell
that-
him he has to be on with you.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I checked mine and my machine is completely different than everybody else's. And I
Okay.
have that report.
You have that report. Okay. All right, so I'm going to run this report, right, because what it's going to show is whatever we've got in the current inventory, right? So you don't have any like parameters or anything you have to do. You just have to run it, right? So this tells me what ALUs I counted and what zones, right? So I only have these two things in these two zones, but we can throw some more stuff on there so you can see how that works. But essentially, I don't know where the differences are, right? Because the difference isn't by zone. It's just what did you count in this zone?
You weren't able to get, yeah, I get it. Okay.
So they can export this right to PDF or to Excel, okay? And they will need to do this wherever they're importing the Regis physical. So I don't know if they do that at the store or whether they do that on the central computer, but wherever they're importing the Regis physical, this would be available to print.
Okay, the only thing I know for the stores,
Mm-hmm.
they can run any report they want, but they cannot export any of them. So
Okay.
if they want to print what's in front of them, it'll
Yeah.
print just like that, hopefully. Well,
Okay. Okay.
which is what,
Okay, so let me ask you something. You just made a comment that if
Yeah.
wherever they freeze, they won't
Yeah.
be able to run this report. It's because it's only going to be on wherever it's frozen, right? Didn't you just say something like that?
Yes. So, so the general procedure, right, is you freeze the inventory. Regis takes the inventory. Regis gives IT the file. IT imports that file to the frozen inventory, right? So wherever that takes place, it can take place on the remote, on the store. It can take place at the main. I don't know which they use, but
most
this
likely,
report is only going to be available where they do the, where they import the zones.
Only available where they import the zones.
Right.
isn't Nate going to be remoted in to the main?
Yeah, I would think so. So I don't know.
Possibly.
I'll talk to him about this tomorrow, I guess.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So we have this report, right? They can produce this report so you know where everything was counted. Okay. And with that in hand, okay, then you've got your discrepancy report, right? And that are you expecting them to tell you if they didn't count it right, that they want it in a
Yeah, they
specific
should
zone or
tell us
not?
what zone it was wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they'll be able to access any discrepancies. They'll be able to access, or we'll send them that zone report where it shows them where they can find wherever it is. They'll show, like, say if it's eco bags, it'll show eco bags, and they'll say every zone it was counted in, right?
Right. Right.
And then it'll say whatever, and then they can look for that stuff and they can find out where it's at.
Okay.
So let me ask you something. Does that zone report go to Excel pretty well so that we can do searches for the ALUs, or is it does it
Let's just find
mess
out.
up pretty bad? Yeah, it messes up pretty bad.
It's the crystal report. What do you?
Yeah.
So what
that
would you
sucks.
be? What would you be? You would be searching for ALU in here, or what?
Yeah, I mean, it just makes it hard. You've got 40,000
Right.
SKUs.
Yep. Agreed. Right.
That's going to be pretty tough for them to find.
Okay. So this
If
report.
you can't, can you? Go ahead.
So this report you can use Find.
Oh. Oh,
Right.
that's cool. Okay.
Okay. So if right, they're doing, if they have, if they're importing this at the store, right, then they have access to this report. They just need to be able to run it, right, and use the Finder, right? And they don't have to know anything about like filtering or anything. It just has to have been, the Regis has to have been imported on their computer that they're working with in the store.
That sucks. Because I don't think they give that.
We need to know what the plan is as far as where the Regis is getting imported, right? In version 8,
I guess, yeah.
In version 8,
it was only one place, right?
You could do it at the store, but you had to pull it up to the main to do any real work.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And in 9.
But now in 9 we can do it at each store then.
You could, right? I don't know if that's the best solution for you, but you could, yes.
Because if they need to be able to use that Find to
On the zone
find,
report.
you know, if there's a, yeah, exactly.
So let's
there's
let's
gonna
do
be
this,
hundreds
right?
of sheets.
So hang on, right? So there's a finder in PDF, right? So if I'm in PDF, right, I can Control F, right, and say find an SKU.
Yeah,
right?
but
So
that's I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's an issue that a lot of these supervisors aren't familiar with using, you know, these tools in PDF, in Excel, how to use these things. So yeah, so I just wanted to
okay. You know,
so can you tell, so this is a PDF. So where did you go to find again?
You just Control F. There might be a tool or something up here. I just know that it's there. Fill. Nope, that's not it. Home document. Let's see.
To find in a PDF.
Oh, find. It's probably this, right? This. The little search with the dot, dot in it. That guy. Right. So you do that, right?
Oh, okay. All right.
And tell it what the ALU is, or the, you know, the description, or what have you, right? And in this case, right, if they're looking for ALU, they're going to find all of them together, grouped. If it's in multiple zones, they're going to find all the ALUs together with zone.
Yeah, exactly. That's cool. Okay. So he'll need to save in PDF. So those custom reports, the VHD P1 zone reports, those need to be saved in PDF. Okay. All right.
And you can,
so
you know, okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Oh my God, this is way different. I'm freaking out right now.
All right. So the other thing that you need to know, right, about you guys fixing the discrepancy, okay, is that if we're counting and importing at the store, okay, then you won't be able to see it until they say they're done with it. Because in version 8, what you did was you went into the store, right, you did the freeze, right, you did the import, right, and then you said, okay, I'm done in the store, prepare PI, and that pulled it up to the main where you could see everybody's store up at the main. Okay, and so when you were doing this in V8, then you had all your stores, and then you just went from store to store and corrected whatever needed to be corrected, right?
Right, yes.
Okay, so you can structure 9 the same way.
But then they won't be able to see those reports.
They won't be able to see that report, right, once you prepare PI and send it up. I would say that you're not going to do that until you're ready to fix the discrepancies.
Because we don't want them in there fixing discrepancies. It's only me and Candy that fix.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
So in the store, right, they're going to do the start physical, the IT people do the start physical, right, get the Regis count, right, and then import the Regis count, and then print your discrepancy report, right, and your zone report, right?
Okay.
And then they're done in the store, right?
Oh, so you mean IT will do that for us? So if IT does that for us, and then they send the discrepancy report and the zone report to each store, then when the store opens those PDFs, they should be able to go in find the different things, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Perfect.
Right. And
okay.
The inventory is already, you know, scooped up, and it's up at the main. They can't touch it or play with it or even see it, right? But they have these documents so that they can figure out what they're going to do, get back to you, and then your counts will be up at the main.
Gonna be
And
a little
and you know, the difference, right, so far is, I mean, they're used to seeing the discrepancy report and making their circles or whatever. So the
Right,
difference
yeah.
is this, right, which is a tool that I don't think you had in 8.
No, this is awesome because that makes it so much easier for them to go and
figure it
find the
out.
discrepancies exactly to figure it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So, you know, we just need to make sure that we get this to them, 2 documents, right? And then they're going to take their discrepancies here, right? They're going to circle, non-circle, right? And then they're going to give those back to you.
But how
Okay.
will we know? But will they then do the zone report to tell us what zone, right?
Well, what I would do, if they're going to be writing on this anyway, right?
Uh-huh.
So if everything is okay and they're taking the scan, you don't need any notes, right? But if
Right.
they say take the start, right, then you need to know
Uh-huh.
what zone to put the difference in, right?
That's where they'll have to write that right there to the side.
Correct. Right.
Okay. All right.
Okay, now, what we might want to do here, right, is give them some space, because if you have this kind of mess here, you know, it's going to be kind of hard to find room to put zone. You know what I mean?
Right.
Okay, so we might think about getting them some space in here, right? So that
Another
you
column.
and we can, yeah, we can like label it zone or whatever, right? Just an empty space
Yeah,
to write,
I
so
think
it's clear.
we could do that.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think they necessarily need description 1, do they, Candy? Do you think
Yes.
they do
Just-
need description 1?
Yes.
Okay.
Because in description 1, that's where they can see what the difference is. Because on a lot of the descriptions,
Yeah.
too, are really similar. And some of them, like, well, I know for a fact Warehouse, they know exactly by looking at the description of what it is. Hey, you never know, maybe some of the stores do too.
I'm wondering if we should make it a landscape versus
Let's look at the document, see what makes sense, right? So this is PI sheet.
yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And we want the department one, right?
You didn't go across
Okay.
the high school, right? You only did this building and that building.
We do the high school.
I don't want to sign anything from the school.
No, this isn't for the school.
Okay, hold on, Luann.
Yep, sure.
Yeah, we do the school through.
I know, that's what I'm asking you. Is any of these for across the street, right there?
No, I just need your signature on that, top and bottom on that page, and that's just for these 2 buildings.
These 2 buildings?
Yes.
Okay.
And do you want spray in here?
Yes, please.
Okay.
And then are you going to leave me with this invoice then?
We usually think about that. You can make a copy if you like.
Yeah, I would.
Okay. Yeah.
And then
There's that, and then I'll move around my
this is
canister.
the only sheet we're going to get.
Sure.
Sorry about this, Luann.
No, it's okay. I'm working on it here, so we'll be ready to talk about it when I get.
I'm on a conference call right now. Do you have any extra time today? It's okay. Don't worry about it. That's cool. I thought I'd ask. Oh, that'll be good. That's better, huh, Candy?
Yeah, except I got something in this. I just picked a UDF because usually we can find a UDF that's blank. Let's see. let's see. What can I use? See if that is it.
Now,
Go ahead, question?
my only thing is that since you're making a change in her document,
Yeah, we are going to have to get that out to the stores. Yes, you are correct.
yeah,
Yes.
that is always an issue.
It can be, right.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I want a frame on this puppy. All right, so bottom, left, right. Okay, one more time. Let's see if we got enough room for us to be able to say. I want to save it. Negative, print. Come on, there we go. Okay, I'm going to bump the font size down on that so it fits. So if we wanted to get like your zone, are they short number? You like less than 5 characters? Would it be? Is that enough space for them to write it in? Questionable.
It's probably not. Do we
Okay,
need?
So let's look at the
We
other
don't
fields
need,
here.
yeah, we do.
You can make description 1 smaller.
Smaller. Yeah.
Okay. Do they need vendor?
Yes.
Okay.
Vendor helps a little bit.
How about DCS? So the thing is, right? We already know what DCS it is because it's forwarded
together. Do we really need the vendor? I don't think. Why would we need the vendor, Candy?
Oh, I don't know.
I thought it might be easier because you have the DCS, so you know it's going to be an accessory, a bag, it's a recycle. What the vendor?
Look down. Yeah, let's look down here where we got lots of stuff, right? Like this.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't even know what this socks, right?
Yeah,
so we got lots of socks.
We need the vendor.
So the thing is, right? You've got the ALU, right? You know it's a sock. You know it's this sock, right? So very rarely are you going to have something where you describe it exactly the same way for 2 different vendors.
Yeah, let's lose vendor. Because on the other one, we didn't have vendor. On the old discrepancy reports, we didn't have vendor.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so this is a cross table. And you said I can shorten description 1?
A little bit,
right?
yeah.
Okay, so shorten description 1. But I do, that this was, a little crammed to the description DCS, right? So I'm going to give that a little more room. Okay, make this a little shorter, scoot this. Make that a little longer because it was crammed.
Yeah, we wanted the description too should be a little bit longer, yeah. Okay.
And this should be okay, right? And now let's see what this looks like if I give this enough room right here. Okay. All right.
Yeah, that looks a lot better. Well,
but I haven't done it yet.
Oh, okay. I was like, whoa.
You're gonna jump in the gun here. It doesn't look any better yet.
I think that the UPC, you can make it smaller because even though they look at the UPC, that's not what we go by. We go by the ALU.
Right.
So,
yeah, but on some things they need the UPC. I'd leave that.
And this is, this is looking a lot better. right?
Oh, way
Because,
better.
you know, we got separation here on the end of the DCS, so the description 1 stands out better. You got probably a little more description 2.
Yeah, I
But we
think
need
we're good.
in the, you know, do you ever have long sizes? 'Cause that's the only thing I was really skimpy on.
Yeah, you might want it. The attribute can maybe move a little bit smaller and then go a little bit bigger on the size, because the size is, well.
That's what I'm looking to
in-
see, you know, how
under
much you
apparel.
use.
Let's look under apparel is where I'm concerned.
Is it APP? What's the DCS?
MEN, MEN. Go to MEN.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you
There we
gotta
go. Men's
keep
caps.
going.
These, yeah,
Oh.
these guys. Yeah.
Go to the DCS starting with men.
Yeah.
Men top.
There's men's. Okay. So what's
No,
that?
that's
Men's.
med.
Boo.
No.
Oh, med.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going. Yeah.
Okay. So here we're just going to do this, right? Page.
Yeah, I think I was
Page.
gonna
Page.
just say.
Page. There.
Okay,
Jackets.
here we go.
Yeah.
So it looks like we can see the sizes, yeah, because you have small, medium, large, 2X. You're just not going to be able, but it's kind of obvious 2X, 3X would be the last one on that rain jacket.
Not really, because
So it would only
look at the
be
colors.
if you have this, right? So if you have
Yeah, those are the problems.
XL, right? So we need
Yeah.
we need a little more room.
Yep.
Okay, little more. So steal it from here. Take it from here. Okay, and I think we could get away with a little less of that. Okay. All right, so men's.
Yeah, that's much better.
Went right past the jackets. Yeah, that's better. So you can see the X. If it's 3 X's, you'll see that, and if it's 4, you know, if it's you'll see if it's 4 X's, right, you'll see the X, and you'll just have to suck it up and pay attention.
Well, and we have the PLU too, so, or the ALU.
Right.
So.
Right. Okay. Now, Candy's point was this needs to get out to the store, right? Because we've made a change. Okay. And typically, that's a thing, right? So we are editing on your computer, right? And let me see where it's landing, right? So Retail Pro Properties, you're on Local D, right? So that means it's landing here. Designs, PI sheet, right? So there's the one we changed, right? So we changed it here on this computer, okay? And then what we need is we need to get a copy of it onto the server, okay? And that's this, I'm guessing, right? Retail Pro 9, Design, Doc Designs.
Yeah, that won't.
Sheet, right? Right. So this copy over the top of this. Okay, so that gets it on the server, and now on the server we need to tell it to poll to the stores. Okay, that's ECM move list. Either of you familiar with that?
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
Our IT department takes care of those.
So,
can you do that for us so that it gets switched over?
Well, I need to get. Well, let me see if I can. Hang on a second.
From IT.
Let me see. Hang on.
Okay, so you said you put it in the main?
I put it on the R drive of the main. Yes. So
Okay,
what I'm going to do here is this is your polling, right? So I might be able to set a move list and execute it, right? And then if someone would need to follow up with the store, right, and make sure that that they actually have the right form. So do you have more than one workstation in a store?
yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. So I can move list this to the main, right? But it's possible that each workstation would not be able to see it, and that would be a thing your IT would have to get on and do.
Okay, so give me 1 second. So when it prompts me the copy and replace, I put copy and replace?
You're copying it to your workstation?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Copying it to your local workstation, right?
Yes.
To your D drive?
Yes.
You're doing the reverse of what I did?
Yes. Like
Okay.
I said, my workstation is different.
Yeah.
And yeah. Okay, so then if I open it up, okay, I need to close reports. I'll close Retail Pro just in case. And then
So
I
go
open
to, yeah, so you're going to
reports.
go to, no, inventory. So this, what we're changing here is the dock design, right? So this is
I already
inside
put it in.
Retail Pro, right?
Yeah.
But
So
if you go, it's just to test it to make sure you're seeing the right thing, right? You've got to go to the inventory list view, go to physical inventory,
oh, okay. Yeah, I got okay.
okay,
I understood.
and go to stores, right, and discrepancy,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, okay. Then if you hit the print at the top, right, pick the one that says department. It's the one on the far left, or should be the one on the far left.
Stores. Okay, so then let me see. I go to physical inventory stores, right?
Uh-huh.
And I see it there. So then what do I go to print?
Yes.
Print.
And then
And
it comes up with all the icons, right?
Yeah.
Because we haven't pointed it at a specific icon. So you want to pick the one that says BHD PI
Hey.
department. It's the top left.
Yeah. Hey, it worked.
Hey. All right. So I'm okay in here. All right. So what I'm doing here is I'm on your server, right? And I'm telling the server, take that modified design, send it to each location, and put it on the R drive, right, at each location. That should make it available if they're logged in on whatever the workstation one is in each location. Okay, and so if, depending on how your workstations are set up, it might not be visible on each workstation until someone does what you just did, Candy, copies it to the local drive.
Yeah, that's what I know Whitney and Nate technically have to do every time there's a new dock design.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but I can let them know, or if you can send them an email in tech language and tell them that it's already
Sure.
in their
what
in their drive of each of the locations, and just to drop it into.
And if you can send it to Nate, because then he'll know.
Yeah. What's Nate's email?
Nate.
Nathan. It's not Nate. It's Nathan. H-A-N. Nathan dot Soto.
S-O-T-O.
S-O-T-O at
GrandCanyonResort.com.
Resort. resort.com. Okay, check. Nathan Soto at GrandCanyonResort.com, and then Whitney is
Whitney
Whitney.Fry.
Fry.
the last name, F-R-Y? Okay.
Yeah. Misspelled grand.
Yep, got it. Okay, and then I can copy you, Nancy, so you know.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, Nancy, and yours is Echeverria, right?
.ECHEVERRIA.
Grand Canyon Resort.com. Okay. And Candy, do you want it too?
No, I got it
Nope,
on mine.
don't care. All right.
No, you can
okay,
let
so
them know
this is
that
a copying, right. So change to doc design for PI, right? So I'll outline where it is, right, and what I've done, and they can take it from there. Okay,
Yeah.
in tech speak. Okay,
Yes.
and you'll have a copy, Nancy, so you can say, okay, did you guys get this? Do you understand? Can you make sure this happens? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. So I will do that, and then I will say generate move list. Okay. And so I have, because I don't know for sure what the path of your landing spot is, I will explain that to them so that if it lands in the wrong spot, they'll be able to deal with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Okay, so where does that leave us now, right? So we've got, would you, and so Nancy, as far as you know, right, I have a meeting with IT on Thursday, right? To go over the same stuff and
I'm
make
going
sure
to try to be on that. What time is that?
Okay.
Let me see. Hold on.
It is.
We go up to GCW on Thursday.
I know, but I might be able to call in.
It's 2 Pacific time, right? So you guys are an hour ahead of us, so 3. Okay, and it's marked canceled. Well, I'll make sure it's not uncanceled. So edit.
So from this page, I want to get this training out of the way.
Yeah.
Okay, so from this page, this is the list of discrepancies, right?
Correct.
And I'm going down the list. So how do I make changes to this?
Okay, so the only ones you can make changes to, right, are the ones where there's already a scan quantity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
So that's thing 1. Okay. So if you needed to change this and say, I want this one to be 38, right? Then you just click in here in the 40, right?
Mm-hmm.
You type what you want it to look like, 38 like this, right? And then it's going to say, okay, what zone do you want me to put that in?
Uh-huh.
Okay,
and
now
at this point, it doesn't matter.
Let me put another zone's worth of stuff in here. Okay, just so you can see, right? Because it will make a difference, right? So let me take that 30, right, and say go to a zone, add a new zone for the store. Okay. Who cares? All right. So training 1, scanned, add counts. Look up 050030. Okay, and then add, actually, let's make this 10. Okay, all right, so I made another zone, put some stuff in it, merged it so we can see it in the discrepancies, right? So I'm going to go back to here where I can see this is my store, right? If I go to discrepancy, I see all my discrepancies. Now my thing says 50, right? And so if I wanted to accept the start quantity and not this, I have to change that 50 to 38, right?
Mhm.
When I do that, it's going to come up and say, okay, so you got 40 in this and 10 in this. So what do you want to change?
So then we would just go to,
So we're going to change one of these, right?
we're
They
gonna
would have
leave it,
told us what zone to change, right? Yeah.
no.
No, it's not going to, you tell it which one to, they're going to tell you which one to change, and you're going to tell it, okay, so in this one, right, maybe this should have been 0, right?
Or the
Right.
top one should have been 28.
Okay, and if the top one should be 28, right, you change it right there.
And it shows you on the top available quantity changed to 38.
Right,
Okay.
right, so now that's what it looks like in the zone.
Cool. And then after that, once we're done, we save it.
Yeah, so this one, right, so if I said 38, right, and I say 28 here, right, and I say okay, right, and I save it, then it becomes quote unquote permanent, right?
Uh-huh.
So the scan quantity is going to be the quantity that's going to be uploaded into the system, right?
No.
No.
So the scanned the quantity, right, that's going to update is going to be this discrepancy, right? Now,
Oh, okay.
we just changed this and it didn't drop off of here, right? Because probably, right, I need to go refresh this, right? So discrepancy, right? So now it dropped off, right? When I refreshed this screen,
Mm-hmm.
then it dropped off of there.
Because
I think.
we fixed it. Yeah.
Let me just check.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then after that, we save it and it's done and permanent in the
Right. Right. And what you guys could do, right, if you're working on this, you can actually, rerun your own department, right? So once you're done, right, you should have the things on here are only going to be the ones where they say accept the scan quantity, right? Because if you change it so that the start quantity equals the scan quantity, it drops off the report, right?
I just lost you. I'm sorry, what?
Okay, that's okay. So the thing is, right, you're going to be doing this, right? And then how do you check your work when you're done? Right? How do you know that you've changed
There's not going
them
to be
all?
any more. The discrepancies will be all gone.
No, they won't be all gone because the ones where they say accept the scan
Oh, yeah.
are still going to
You're
be
right.
discrepancies,
You're right.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you
right.
have this piece of paper with a bunch of scans circled, right? Those should be the only ones left, right?
Right. Okay.
Right? So when you're done
One
fixing
each.
stuff,
Yeah. Right.
when you're done fixing stuff, right, if you do this, right, and print this report again, you should be able to lay this one side by side with the one with the circles, right, and only the ones that are circled scan quantity should be on that report.
Right. Got
right?
it.
Okay. Because this is new, right? And, because, you're dealing with, circles and squares and, all of that, I would highly recommend that you, make sure that you got them all, right? According to the instructions that the store gave you. So they can't come back and say, I told you this one was supposed to, blah, blah, right? So do this, right? And then this is the final Jeopardy answer here on what your differences are, right? And it should only be the ones where you circled the scan quantity. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to bear with me for just a second, right? I want to make sure that I have an outline, right, for what you're going to do. So when we talk to, IT and whatever, I've got both sides, right? And then I'll send everybody an outline. All right, so,
Okay.
IT, right, is going to do the freeze, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't know at this point whether they're going to freeze at the main for each store, right, or remote, right? And I will answer that question with them and make sure that they're set up properly to do that. Okay, then Regis counts, right? Okay, and then gives them the file. Okay, they import it. Okay, wherever they've done the freeze. Okay, and then wherever they do the import, they're going to produce the discrepancy report.
As PDF, very important.
Okay, produce this report as PDF.
And that is
then the BHD zone
report and the BHD PI zone report, right?
Zone report, right. PI zone report, okay, PDF, right? And so they give the stores this, right?
The stores, Candy and Nancy, yes.
Okay, so you want a version of this before the store marks it up?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, so that happens in each store as they do the counts, right? So the store then marks up the discrepancy report, right?
And then they send them to Candy and I.
Yeah, and they're going to list zone, okay, if accepting start quantity, right? So we don't need the zone if they're accepting the scan quantity, right?
Well, here's the thing. Sometimes, and I do remember this from last year, is that they'll write a whole different quantity on there. They won't accept the start, or they won't accept the scan.
Okay.
They'll write, something in between.
And that's fine, right? They need to tell
fine,
us.
But they're going to have to tell us where they found it.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Cool.
Okay, so they need to list the zone, right, if they are not accepting the scan quantity, right? So if they're accepting the start quantity or they have a completely different quantity, then either one, right, they need to tell us what zone to put it in.
Zone, like you said, they need the zone if they're not accepting the scan.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we need the if it's a new quantity, we need the new quantity and the zone. Okay, so and then they give that to you, right? Okay, and then you go into the store. Okay, so you go physical inventory, stores, right? You highlight the store you want to work on, right? You go to the discrepancy tab, right? And then
that's where we start.
Yeah, so you're going to edit quantity.
And let me just stop you real quick, Luann.
Yep.
Is that order gonna match the discrepancy report?
What order? Only if you sort it, right? So you can sort this, right?
Oh, okay. So we'll sort it by DCS because that'll be the way
the order
it's
that you'll
sorted
see the
on
report.
the DCS.
Yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely.
got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Okay, so you have, the rights to do this. Now, if I look at this discrepancy report, okay, I'm going to see if there's a secondary sort in it, right? So it's DCS, right? And then
number, then ALU.
ALU.
Yeah, which is fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's important to know, right? Save it
Yeah.
negative, right? Because the only way you can do a secondary sort on this, right? I mean, it might natively do that. It looks like it might be. Right. Use your filter. So you're going to, okay, edit quantity. So you're going to be editing this quantity only, right, if they're not accepting scan as is, right?
Right.
If not accepting
Okay.
scan as is. Okay. All right. Okay, so you do your edits, right?
Okay, hold on. Only changing scan.
Yes.
If
they don't agree with it. Right. If they don't agree with it.
Okay.
Okay. So if they're agreeing with the scan quantity and they're accepting whatever the difference is, then that's on them, right?
Okay, right.
right? Okay. All right. Okay, now, so you're going to go through and you're going to make whatever changes are on the sheet, and then you're going to run another discrepancy, right? This one right here. You're going to print BHD PI department. BHD PI department by.
To ensure
right?
it's,
To check, to make sure the only thing is left is the ones where they're accepting the scan.
so it's, so it'll, to ensure it's only showing those that they're not accepting the scan.
Not accepting the scan. Correct. Well, so
Okay,
the ones, you know, if you're changing the scan quantity, right, to match
Right.
the start, it's going to drop off the report, right?
so that's why when we run that report, the only thing that's going to show up are those ones they had circles, which that meant that they're not accepting the scan. Because the scan
No,
quantity is the Regis count, right?
Scan quantity is the Regis count, right? And if they're accepting the Regis count, those are going to be left on your discrepancy report, okay? Because they wouldn't be on here unless there was a difference between what commuter thought you had and what Regis counted.
Yeah, I get it.
So the only reason they're on here is because there's a difference, right? And if they say, I'm, you know, I counted everything, right? And that's just the way it is. This is going to stay on their discrepancy report. You're not going to change it, right? So the ones where they circle the scan quantity are the ones that are going to be left when you're done.
Yeah, because those would still be discrepancies technically in the
Right.
system's eyes because
Only-
you didn't touch them.
Right. So the accepted scan quantity, right, is what's going to be left, right?
Accepted scan quantity.
Yeah. I'll phrase this out, right, and send it to you guys, and you know, if it isn't crystal clear, then we can work on the language.
I'm still not making.
Okay. So let's look at this, right?
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Totally fine. Right. So we have this, right, and let's say, right, these bags, right? You said we don't have any bags. I'm accepting the scan, right? So the scan is going to be circled on this, right?
Right.
If the scan is circled, you're not going to make any changes, correct?
Right.
Okay. But if down here, right, if they say, oh no, I counted 13 of these, right? And so accept the start, right? And then there's a zone in here.
And I have
So
to
you're going
change
to go,
that, right?
you're going to go to that zone, right? And you're going to add 13 and it's going to drop off this report, right?
Okay.
Because
So then
already-
I don't see
whatever
that
number-
anymore. The only one I'll see is where we accepted the scan. So yeah.
Correct.
So we
Correct.
accepted that zero, it'll still store there. Okay. So
Yeah.
only,
Right.
then run another report, only accepted scan
Quantity item should be
will
on
be
here.
left.
Right. Right. Unless they had something that was neither the start or the scan and they told you, you know, I really counted 8 of these, right? So if this
Yeah.
was really 8, right, and they say zone whatever, right, then that's still going to be on your report, right?
Okay. Right.
Okay. Right. So what you can do, right, is take this report, right, and then, you know, highlight the ones that you're going to change, right, and
Yep.
then go through and change them all, right, and then but run the report again and compare only the stuff that you didn't highlight should be there unless it was a neither start nor scan.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
And
All
then
right,
once
so,
we do that and we know it's right, then how do we save it?
You mean update it?
Yeah.
Okay. So once you're finished editing
Let's
the
say that
discrepancies.
let's say that we lose power. Okay. Do I have to start all over
that
again?
happens more often
No.
than you think.
No, I get it. Right. No, you don't have to start all over again. So when you're editing these, right, the minute you change it, right, you're done, right, and you
So
save
it's
here.
like,
That's in the database. It's in the database.
Thing that has that any little change, it archives it, right?
Well, it goes right into the database. Yeah.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So it's fixed. Boom. So we don't have to do like in V8 where we have to, once we were finished, we had to update it.
Well, you do have to update it, yes. So I'm talking about changing this, right? When you're done making all the changes and you are happy, right? You've reprinted your report, right? To see,
I'm happy.
yes, I got everything, blah, 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 right? Then the last step is this, update, right? Now, were you doing that before?
I don't remember. I don't have that. No.
This is what actually makes the adjustments.
Go to update. Go to update PI, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. Now, is that something that you did in V8? Did you do that, or did IT do it?
We did it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So in V9, right, it's much less, it's less multi-step than it was in V8. Okay. Updating in V9 is basically you click update. You're going to pick a store, right? So if you're done with one store, right, you can pick it on the list and you can update it. Okay, so, if you're doing all this at the main, you'd see source, store until you update it. Okay?
Yeah. So
and
Candy
usually,
can be working on hers, I can be working on mine, and we'll be okay.
Yes.
Hopefully. Okay.
Yes. Okay, and usually we have a reason code that says physical. I'm not seeing one in here.
Yeah, we need to have them add. Can you add that in there right now for us?
We will try to do that. Yeah. Okay. So let me the rest of the physical update, right, is make sure this, where it says all inventory, make sure that's checked. That's the default. You don't want to change it.
All inventory.
All inventory should be checked. Okay. In V8, there was a problem, right, because this was not the default, and people would blow by it all the time, right? In 9, they got smart, right, made that the default, just pointing it out, right? Okay. And then essentially when you pick a store, right, then you update, and that's it, right? There's no other questions.
Done. Okay.
Okay. All right. So what you were asking about as far as a reason code for physical, that's here. Adjustments. Okay.
Okay, can we take out a couple of those that we don't need anymore?
So you can inactivate them.
Okay, let's inactivate, go up a little bit more. Inactivate transfer to pH, expert pH, inactivate, no, leave that in there. Go, inactivate lodge, LOD, yes. And then let's see, marketing, store use, department use, SMI is fine, input error, department use. What other ones are there that we could possibly use? Donation, cycle count, good, donation, I like that. Kit, gift, store use, department use, okay. Input error.
What's SMI?
Physical.
Okay.
Slow moving inventory.
Got it.
I don't know why
that's
in there, but just leave it. Yeah. Okay. That'll be good. Is that going to change in everybody's now?
If we are polling, hang on a sec. That's not what I wanted. Oh, you know, I might not be able to see this here from where I am. I can't tell.
All right.
Short answer is it should, but they are not going to be updating it. You are.
Okay.
So you're the only one who cares, right?
Yeah.
At
Well,
Central
and
here.
Candy too. She'll be on her machine.
Yeah. So as long as she should be able to see it now, right? Candy, if you go
Okay.
to inventory, right, and you go to physical inventory, stores, right, you can see this, right? The LOD.
Yep, I'm seeing it right now.
Right. Okay. And if you go to update, right, and look at the pull down list for the reasons, do you see physical?
Hold on. I don't know what I just did. Okay.
Don't hit update.
Go to physical stores, and then go to
Update.
Reasons.
update PI.
Yeah.
Okay. And then just look in where it says manually there, just look and pull that down and see if you can see physical.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you can back out of that. Don't update it.
That'd be funny.
They cancel.
I did.
Okay. And the other
Cool.
thing here is if you update, right, and you weren't ready, right, then call in here. There's a way that we can reverse or undo the physical. It existed in 8, but I just want to point that out. That if you mistakenly update the wrong store before you're done, don't panic.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think
Okay.
I got it down as much as
All right.
I'm gonna get it.
Well, so
I
on
know,
your side
me too.
anyway, right? On your side
Yeah.
anyway, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go make sure this session on Thursday that the appropriate people know that they're supposed to be in it, right? And then
Yeah.
I'll have this outline organized, right? And Nancy, if you're able to dial in or whatever, then if we have any questions, we'll hash them out.
Fill in
And
information.
for that,
Yeah, for the meeting, will you make sure I get the dial-in information? Will you email it to me?
Yeah, I'm gonna go
Okay.
make sure that that the meeting is like set up and the proper people get emailed and that they're confirmed.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect.
Okay, so that sounds like it's probably it for today, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay. So
again, very nice, Luann, thank you.
Okay. Well, I'll try to get all this fleshed
Okay,
out
thank you.
and get it to you so you have a time to look at it before that next meeting, just in case
Yeah.
there's something that needs further clarification. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. All right. Sorry about the mix-up this morning, but we'll try to do better on Thursday.
Okay, I appreciate it, thank you.
All right. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
That new report, remember the report? It's called that